Long distance relationships. The longer the distance, the greater the challenge. Hey guys, welcome back to 5nothing100nothing.com. I am Buggin'! That stands for Fittest Underdog Guru Using Intelligent Tactics. Guys, I want to talk to you today about long distance relationships. And the longer the distance, the greater the challenge, or the greater the likelihood that there's going to be a lot of problems. Okay, so over the course of history, we have improved our ability to not only travel to other parts of the world, but also to communicate with other parts of the world via our telefono, right? And, you know, through the beginnings of online dating, right? A quick story, it was 1997. I think William Clinton was the president, but 97 was the first time I ever heard of anybody that had found a boyfriend or girlfriend online. And I was at a wrestling show, Border City Championship Wrestling. Shout out to Scott D'Amore and the referee, Jeffrey Scott. This gets to him, awesome. He was the very first person I ever knew who had found their girlfriend online. And I remember, I was always, a pretty polite guy. And I remember him introducing her to me. And I was like, oh, nice to meet you. How did you guys meet? We met online. I went, weirdos. You can't meet people in real life. You have to go online. Nerd. It was very, very different. So if you're young and all you've known is like Tinder and online dating and people meeting like that, it's the norm now. In fact, I think my last 4 or 5 girlfriends, at least 4, I've met them all online on dating apps, and it's pretty interesting. But they're all local, right? You set the distance on these dating apps. If you're willing to travel 10 miles, 20, 50 miles. Obviously, the greater the range, the more people that you could potentially meet. But you got to be realistic, right? And I watch as, if you meet somebody via online and it's like, say, out of state, or if you're on vacation, you meet somebody at a resort or wherever, right? Distance is a problem because it's really hard to get to know somebody unless you can spend real quality in-person time with them. And so with other responsibilities in life, it's a lot harder to get to really know that person in like everyday activities. Now, if you go across the country, you're going to see, differences in, ways of life, pace of life, just not even necessarily cultural things, but, just the way people conduct their everyday life and what the norm is, right? Now imagine going overseas. So you have very different cultural norms, different expectations, a lot of differences that if you watch any type of reality shows, like I did a video yesterday at 90 Day Fiance, and you watch the culture shock, right? The clash of expectations. The people that do the best are the ones that do their homework on cultural norms, really get to know the other person, and it costs a lot of money to travel overseas. There's some customs and traditions, that usually are expected by a different culture, whether it's gifts or whether it's converting to another religion, all kinds of things, right? And unless you're either, well-cultured, traveled, etc., and or have embraced this culture that you're potentially marrying into or dating, it's really hard to completely change or at least accommodate somebody else's positions, beliefs. And do you have a couple that both parties, both of you, both people in the relationship actually can give and take, right? Sometimes in a relationship you have one person that's the giver, one's the taker, and sometimes that leads to the giver feeling resentment and like their voice not being heard, or their position or who they are not really being valued. You know, you're expected to completely change to their way of life, and it usually causes a lot of clash. And I think that, you know, first off, people, I fell in love with their heart, who they are. And then you look, and then they got these pictures, and they're like drop dead gorgeous or model-like, and the person saying this isn't really that, like, on that same level of attraction, if you want to put it that way, for lack of a better way to put it. So it's like, that's crap. You know, I don't buy into that. You know, you see somebody and you know, fall in love or lust or infatuation with your eyes, okay? And, you know, there's got to be some kind of attraction. And, you know, there's, of course, exceptions to the rule where you have some people that really look for those traits in a person. The traits are what will keep the relationship going or increase the level of attraction. But, you know, initially it's physical attraction for most people, I think. So, just my thoughts, you guys. The further you go and you're willing to go to find love, it's more likely that you're going to have these challenges. So, you know, talking to my girlfriend about this, it's like we looked at each other like, I would never like look for somebody out of state. If somebody's even like 40 minutes away, you know, it's something I second guess, despite how much like either attraction I have or things in common we have, because it's just a lot of challenge. And there's a lot of people in the world, there's a lot of people in your community, and I say you start there to make it easier on yourself. But it's your life. Nobody can tell you how to live it. I'm just telling you my thoughts, and that I think that it's a big challenge. So, like, share, subscribe, kids. Hope you're doing well. I'll talk to you later.